Welcome to New England and our 1836 home. I'm Linda, and we have been lovingly restoring our home, which was once a two-family, back into a single-family home. I've been busy decorating it and remodeling it, but now that it's almost done, we're already searching for our next home, our forever home. But until we find it, won't you join me as I decorate and share some of my DIY tips? Some time in the garden. We're going to be doing some entertaining and crafting together, and we're even going to bake and cook together. That's not all. I also take all my kindred spirits along shopping with me, and we go look at old towns in New England, and we're also going to take you along to look for our next home, our forever home. But until then, won't you join me for a dose of New England fine living, no matter how simple or grand that may be? Hello, kindred spirits. Today I thought I would take you on an outside tour of things that are growing in my garden, what I'm doing in the garden, and then also what I'm hoping they're going to look like yet again once they come to fruition and are beautiful and green in the spring and summer. So let's go take a tour of my gardens. Right now I figured I'd sit inside for a moment, enjoy a cup of morning coffee, and I love to watch the sunrise sometimes, and through the wavy glass it makes it look like it's dancing on the wall. And before we go outside, I was asked to show the hummingbird's nest in my hands so that you could see the size of it. Here it is. Isn't it sweet? One thing I like to do, which is maybe odd to some, is each spring and fall I love to collect sticks and burn and just start fresh. And right now I'm using one of the fire starters I created last fall, and it worked perfectly. So I have a few more and I'll be able to use them through the season. So right now I'm cleaning up a lot of the grasses that we had. I could have done it last fall, but I like to see the green sometimes through the winter. But here it is after, once this grouping is cut. I do have a bit more to do, but this is what that area is going to look like by summer, hopefully. And over here is another group of the grasses I have to trim. It's actually multiplied, so I have to divide it and I'll move some around. We have new driveway stone being delivered, and this is the area I'm going to be cleaning up the day this video was made, and a few of the others. So let me show you what it looks like after. And this is what it looks like in June and July, and there's flowering plants in here, and I'm going to show you a little bit more in the next coming months, but it's a beautiful area. I couldn't wait to show you these. I got these as a gift for Christmas from Ben. I had no idea anything like this existed. He is amazing at finding unique gifts for me, and they work so well. I'm going to try to find these, and also I will link this below if anybody's interested. Now, I've only used them a few times, but they're still holding up well, and it really allowed me to get really close to rocks and whatever else. Now these are the giant butterbur that are starting to grow. They love moist areas. I have never ever heard of these before. I have not even seen them anywhere else other than our home, so I'm going to have to keep looking. But they look like this, and just so you can get an idea of the size, because it's really hard to tell from photos. You ready? They're huge, and I absolutely love them. When it gets dry outside, they wilt, but then when it rains, they get big again. I'm now researching how to transplant these so I could take a few of them with me when we do move. I was quite excited when I came across this cocoon because just 2 days earlier, my daughter was telling me to keep an eye out for praying mantis cocoons, and I thought that's what I had found. But after doing a little research, it seems like I found a Lunar Moth cocoon. At least this is what I'm looking at from a book. So that made me very excited because just last July I sat and I drew out a Lunar Moth, and I was looking at this because I think they are beautiful. I love when I see them at night, and so I do hope this is a Lunar Moth cocoon. And for those who have not subscribed or not following along last summer, I've been teaching myself to draw. So this was my very first Lunar Moth drawing. Now we're out in the garden that's in the center of our yard. I will lovingly start calling it the center garden. And right now I am cleaning up a lot of the debris. I have herbs that have started to grow. I have flowers that have started to grow. So while I'm cleaning it, especially in this garden, I go slow, and I'm glad I did, because this year, once again, I found a little rabbit's nest, and I am really careful because one year I went willy-nilly in one of my past gardens, and I don't think Mama was too pleased with me. I don't know if they're in there yet or if she's just starting, but we're going to tuck this away and keep them nice and safe for now. That said, I'm still going to move forward because I have a lot of cleanup to do here. So I'm going to show you right now. Here's a bit of the mess and then a little bit of cleaning. It's still a bit sad looking, but it's a lot neater and cleaner, and it's going to get ready because very soon it's going to look like this. Within 1 week, the chives were growing, the irises are growing as you can see in the background, but very soon it's going to look like this. And this is part of early summer, I would say. And I want to mention, when I garden, I'm a self-taught gardener and I am learning all the time. Sometimes I don't even research in Google. I just go in because I learn better by doing versus reading. So that's how I do it. I have certainly had some failures, which I learn from, but there's been many more successes, and I'm pleased with how much I have learned by teaching myself. And I love to play in the dirt. It's weird, I hate when my fingernails and fingers get dirty, but with gloves on, let me at it. And having gloves with nails is a double win for me. Now let's go see what's blooming in the yard right now. These little daffodils are so sweet, and as you can see, I have some weed block to clean up. I've had a couple landscapers tell me I probably shouldn't use weed block under bark mulch, but I couldn't keep up with the weeds, so it was a decision I'd made, and once again, I will learn why in the future and probably will remove it at one point. These are the white snowdrops that do spread around like crocuses. Here are the striped squill, and I'm going to show you a close-up of that from another past spring. I absolutely love them. They look like ticking to me. I remember as a little girl digging up vinca in just when the snow was starting to melt and bringing it in my bedroom. That's how much I loved these flowers. And normally I'd be excited to see them, but they lasted all winter this year, which to me was very strange. And I was very pleased to see that the hyacinths are coming back this year. When I get potted plants for Easter, like hyacinths, I'll put the bulbs in the yard after they've spent, and sometimes they come back, and these have decided to grow. In our side yard, I started planting my moon garden, and I put lambs there last year and white bleeding hearts, and I was wondering if I was going to make it. I had my little markers there. Well, lo and behold, a week later, they did start to sprout, so I'm very excited to see if now they're going to bloom or not. Now there used to be peonies in this area, but they weren't getting enough sun since the river birch grew, so we went out and got some purple rhododendron, and so far it looks like they made it through the winter. I won't know until we see some buds on it though. And speaking of buds, I got very excited to see buds on the mum plants that are planted out front. These are annuals, and I got them at a grocery store. But sometimes they do come back, so let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm not sure if I recently touched on this, but our river birch does drop a lot of twigs, and I've been collecting them since last fall and putting them on a table that was in our side yard. And what I do is I'm right now cutting the tips off of some of them, and I'm putting them aside because I'm hopefully going to be making some twig wreaths. And the very long straight ones are going to be used in the wattle fence that I'm just making for fun around the compost pile. So this is the tips when I just started, and I'm going to show you what I've collected since. And this will be made probably down in the new garden room that I'm making in the basement. And as of today, this is the last garden area that I have to tackle big time. The others I'll do a few more small things, but This needs a lot of cleanup, but it's going to look amazing within a week. I'm going to take a day off or so from the gardening, and I'm working on the question and answer video that I'm putting together. A lot of you had left some questions for me over on my Instagram page. If you're not visiting me there already, it's at New England Fine Living. And one of the questions from a good friend, Carla, asked what blue flowers and purple flowers I like to use in the garden. So I'm thinking that might even be a whole separate video, and I'll probably put that together soon. It will be a shorter one. But wait until you see all the blue flowers I had in my garden. I completely forgot how many there were until I started putting together that part of the video. So until next time, I hope you subscribe if you haven't. It lets other people know that you really enjoy what I'm doing here. It lets YouTube know that you enjoy our videos. And it lets me know that I'm on the right track and sharing things with you that you like. Until next time, kindred spirits, bye now.